أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين وبه نستعين. والصلاة والسلام على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم أما بعد. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you all. You are the hopes of the Imam of the time. I would give you an example of the stars in the dark night, and Imam is the one looking at those stars. I wish and hope and pray that all of you realize your responsibility towards the Imam, that our actions become a source of peace and comfort for his heart. Yesterday, we mentioned to you the topic was you, and we did speak a little bit. It was a little bit here and there, I'm sorry, but I wanted to give you as much as possible, but of course in 2 hours is not enough because you are so great and magnanimous that it is not possible to summarize you in 2 hours. Okay, so it requires a lot of time. Do you remember the homework? Let's start with the housekeeping first. Yeah? So, the ones who were able to completely not touch any of their devices for 24 hours, who had committed in the presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and as a promise to the Imam of the time, raise their hand. Okay. So there are more sisters than the boys. What about the elders? You guys also had your hands up. Okay, alhamdulillah. How did you feel? The ones who... It was almost the same because you don't usually go out and go on into that too much, yeah? She felt refreshed. You know, one of the reasons why she felt refreshed is because the devices that you use, they emit positive ions, which actually make you feel sick and low energy. And also the blue light that comes from the screen, blue light is something that goes all the way to your brain. Regular light does not go all the way to your brain, it goes all the way to the core of your brain. And it's very damaging. Like you can develop many different diseases of the eye. Generally nowadays they have a blue filter that comes on the lenses, and it protects you from the harmful blue light. Okay? Yeah, somebody else? How did you feel? Too much, but okay. Someone who got closer to their parents. Okay. You see, like the thing is, I'm not against cell phones because apparently I have one. Right? So I'm not against cell phones. Don't think that I'm against technology. I mean, I love studying science. I love studying about technology. I love all of the sciences that are out there. And even like the theoretical physics and the different theories that they're coming up with the existence of the universe and the way the system works. I'm also into a lot of the metaphysical side. So I'm not against technology. The only thing is that the use of technology that we are doing right now is more harmful than benefit. I'm not against you guys having a game or playing games. You as children, as youths, you need some sort of toys, you need some sort of entertainment, you need something that can keep you busy where your hand and eye coordination is there and you're learning and you're growing. So I'm not against you having devices or playing games. Okay? But the only problem is that the toys of our time they were not very harmful. All maximum you could get was when you were trying to catch that kite. Have you guys, back home anyways, we used to fly kites, and then two kites are flying and they would, come together and then try to break the other kite. And once the kite was broken, you would go and follow the kite and grab it. So maximum you could do is like fall down, right, scrape your knees, or if you fall down from the roof, a little bit more damage. But after 1 week, 2 weeks, your wounds will be healed. The problem is that the games that you're playing are ruining your mental, emotional, and spiritual bodies. The attack is on your emotional, mental, and spiritual bodies, and also on your physical body. That's the problem. And it's been designed this way. It's not just random, it's been designed this way. Now, if you were to reduce the usage of these devices, if you were to come together as a family, if you were to start talking to each other, looking at each other, if you were to do those things that Islam has recommended, you will become closer, you'll become stronger, and you can still live in this time and still deal with all of these issues. Even the people who have actually invented these devices, they don't allow that to their children. You know that? They don't allow it to their own children because they know the harm of it. When you are texting, these thumbs, you start, like 12 years old are getting arthritis in their thumbs. Your bones have not developed yet, it's all cartilage, and the way that when you send the text, your bones are still growing and you end up having gaps. And when they're hardened, you end up getting pain in your wrist and your thumbs. Right? So the thing is, I don't want you to harm your body or your mind or your emotions or your spirit. Like Fortnite is not there for you to become like a very amazing, healthy person. Fortnite is there for you to get addicted so that they can make a lot of money. Right? That's why when I gave you the challenge for 24 hours not to use the device, and majority of them failed. Like you, yes or no? Because I had a lot more hands. And the reason why it is because it is an addiction. They have come and found in research that these devices are more addictive than cocaine, heroin, and LSD and so forth. The withdrawals that you get when you don't have your phone with you is more stronger than the withdrawal of cocaine, heroin, and these hard drugs that people end up using. We just don't want you to become addicted. That's all. Okay? And I'm not going to be with you. It was just a challenge. It was homework. It was something as a practical experiment that we could do to make you realize that there's actually more harm than benefit. And there's a lot of solutions that you can find in there. Okay? So the homework was done. Tomorrow I'm not with you, so I can't give you that homework again. But please, okay, with the salawat, in your own mind, if you will be willing to reduce the screen time and the devices, then only then read the salawat. So I know a little bit of comfort that something was done. Okay, so you, kids who are not 13. Okay. Not 13, not 13. The elders from the sister side and from the parent side, brother side. I want you to look at these children. They are like plants right now. They are going to grow like plants. Okay? The way that you have to take care of their bodies is like you would take care of a plant. Because we go through many different phases of our life, and before we get to hit puberty, we're basically growing like a plant, and then when you hit puberty and another 2 or 3 years, you shoot like a bamboo. Yes or no? I've seen you guys who are like, like they were shorter than me, and then I come and see them after a year, they're like taller than me. The thing is, for you at the moment, your parents have to give you the environment which is it's based on love, compassion, and empathy. 3 things for the parents: love, compassion, and empathy. Then if parents are able to do that, you will grow very nicely and healthy. They have done experiments on plants that if you were to talk to the plant in a nice manner, it grows really well. If you talk to them in a bad manner, it doesn't grow that well. Have you heard of the name Dr. Emoto? The guy who did the experiments on water? Have you heard of him? He's a scientist who did experiment on water. He would crystallize water by looking at the intentions or the words that were spoken to water, and on different areas as well. He went and looked at water. He looked at Zamzam as well. If you think that that experiment is bogus, you can do that at home as well. You can take one glass, put some rice in there, and put a bit of water, 3 glasses, and keep them in a place like wherever you have access to. Go and say to this one, okay, I love you, you're the best, you're amazing, I just can't believe how white you are, or maybe that won't be a compliment, but the water that you have and the way that the water and the rice are mixing is so beautiful, it's so symmetrical. And then on the other glass, you're so ugly. Like, what are you? Like, these grains, like, what is these grains? They should be bigger. Why don't you look at other rice? They grow so well and you are so tiny. And you will never grow up to amount to anything because you are not very smart. And I'm not using those words that parents sometimes end up using. So, second one. The third one, don't say anything. And wait for about a month and a half or 2 months if you can. Otherwise, 3 weeks minimum. What you will find is the glass that you spoke with love and kindness would have not deteriorated as the one that you spoke bad or down or condescending. If you guys have your Facebook account and somebody's doing cyberbullying to you, they're literally stopping your growth. They are ruining the equilibrium of your hormones, your endocrine system. You're going to end up having thyroid issues, obesity, and that person is going to slowly grow up to have anxiety and depression. Cyberbullying is actually harmful for the mind, the body, and the spirit and the emotions. And for parents, my advice, and if you want, you can do that experiment at home. You will see that if that's the effect on rice, what do you think is happening to the bodies of these children? When they constantly hear that you're an idiot, you cannot do what others can do. Look at your cousins, look at that guy, he got to have that position and you didn't. You've always been slow in your school and you can't learn anything, and I've told you this 1,000 times and I'm going to keep on repeating, and if you don't do anything, I'm going to ground you. These words are going to affect all of those states. And the same thing for sisters and brothers. How many brothers here fight with their sisters? Sisters fight with their brothers? There's only one sister who fights with their brother? Yeah? Some families don't have sisters. That's true too. Like my family, I have 4 brothers, I don't have a sister. I wish I had one. Okay. But Alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave me like 1 million of them. Right? So all of you are my sisters. Alhamdulillah. So, when brother and sister are going to fight, and if you call names to each other, these calling names to each other is changing the chemical composition of the blood of that person. You're actually harming that person physically, you're harming them emotionally, they're going to have low self-esteem, they're going to have no worth, they will have so many complexes that when they grow up, it's going to come out. You don't want to hurt your sister, do you? Yeah? You don't want to hurt your brother. Okay? Husband and wife, because there are some wives here and there are some husbands here. Right? You think it's just for the youth. If you are here, it's all about you. Remember, the topic is you. So it's not youth, it's you. When a husband and wife, they fight with each other, they are actually harming each other. Physically, even if you don't actually go like that. Verbal abuse is worse than physical abuse. And especially with husband and wife, they know exact same pressure point where they're going to, the most amount of hurt someone is going to get. They know those points. And when you do that, you're literally harming the person's body, you're harming their state of mind, their emotions, and their spirit. Well, I just said this. Like even jokes. For example, somebody makes a joke like, if you were to sit in the car, the tires would scream or something. Now what you're doing is basically, you're saying to the other person that you have lost control of yourself. When you call someone that you're obese, you're fat, you're actually telling them that you've lost control and your worth is no more than him. Right? Because if they had control, they won't get to be that. So when we use words, it's going to affect you in all of those three that I mentioned to you: your mind, your body, and your spirit, and of course your emotions. So far? We have plenty of traditions and we have plenty of verses of the Holy Quran that will talk about the same issues that I've just spoken about. I'll tell you a little bit more about science stuff. Since we were talking about water, I don't have a thing for it. Oh yeah, okay. So you see this bottle? Whatever shape of this bottle is, water is going to take that shape and form. True? You know the other interesting part? Whatever is the composition of this plastic, that same thing is going to go into the water. If it's in a glass, it will take the composition of glass and that effect will go into the water. If it's in copper, it will take the effect of copper and that would be in the water. In the 1960s, this is where the research started with Dr. Emoto, is continuing that research. There was a lab and they were doing experiments. They were using poison to test on the rats the reaction on their body, on the lab rats. So one of the person who was assistant, she was working with the poison vial. Poison vial is like a vacuum sealed thing, you understand? Like poison cannot go out of it. So it was sealed. She accidentally dropped it into the flask that she had. Now she made a mistake. She didn't want others to know. It was about to go home. She was about to go home. For the weekend, she left it at a side. Then when I come back on Monday, I'll deal with it. When she came back on Monday, she saw that the flask, the vacuum sealed poison was still vacuum sealed. There was no liquid coming out that would have tainted the water. So far with me? So she just took that poison vial out and left the thing for the experiment. So they thought this was control, no poison in it. They took the water and gave it to the rats. Guess what happened to the rats? Guess what happened? They died. You know why they died? Even though there was no contamination from the sealed, vacuum sealed poison, but it stayed in water, and water has the tendency to be able to have memory. There are clusters that are formed in water, whatever it comes close to. And whatever it comes close to, it forms those clusters, and it's like a CD or a disc. It saves it. The water had saved the composition of that poison, although there was no corruption in it. And when they gave it to the rats, they showed the same reaction. You know what? We can also do another experiment. You take some water in this glass. I don't have another glass. And I'll take this as control. And of course, I can have assistant come and do a taste test. I'm going to need one person, okay? So we'll choose one from the brothers and one from the sisters so that we are fair. Okay, so I think he raised his hand first. Okay, so you're going to be my assistant. But wait, sit down there. Okay, so then you're going to be my assistant because I'm sure you're going to be honest. Right? Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read Surah Al-Hamd on this water, on this one, and on this I'm not going to do anything. When the brother comes, he's going to taste both of the waters. Okay? So he's going to taste this water and he's going to taste this water. And if he sees or she sees any difference, they will say it honestly. Difference in taste. And if we go further, a difference in their mood. But if you can't judge yourself that way, that's okay. Just on taste, you'll be fine. Okay? Ready? All right. Okay, come. So you're gonna have any of the two you want first is fine.
Okay.
Okay. No reading Bismillah Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim on here, okay? So just regular, just drink it. Okay. Do you see any difference in taste?
This one slightly.
Okay. So there is a difference in taste?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Aja, come. Yeah. Okay. Is there a difference? No difference? Is there a difference in taste?
No.
You don't feel it? Okay, thank you. All right. Maybe a little bit older person would have been better, but a child is honest. Okay? So, this particular water that I had read Surah Al-Hamd on, the chemical composition of this in microscope would not be the same of this water. The crystallization of this water would be different than this. If you want to do more research on it, you can take a look at Dr. Emoto's research because they have done it even with intention, no words. They took water under a microscope and they told the people around to make the intention for this water either of love, compassion or of hate. And as they were intending, the composition of water was changing. You know, when we are told to say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, that's why I told the brother, don't say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim when he's drinking this water, because his Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim would have changed the taste of this water. So, when you look at water and it changes with your intention, it changes with words, guess what? You are 70 to 80% water. You know that? When a child is in the mother's womb, that child is 99.9% water. You yourself are approximately 70 or 80% water. if intentions can do this to water, guess what it will do to you? When you do ghiba of someone, guess what it does to your blood? Yeah. It changes the chemical composition of your blood. If both of the blood tests were done under a microscope of a person who did not do ghiba and the other who did do ghiba, they will see the change in their blood. When we are said that if you were to read Surah Al-Hamd on water and give it to a person who's ill, because the chemical composition of that water is changed, when they're going to drink it and they're also 70% water, water starts vibrating to the other vibrational frequency. You think that music doesn't affect you? It changes your blood. It changes your cells in the brain. Have you guys seen tuning forks? Have you seen those? When you hit, oh, I don't break it. Oh. Yeah, okay. Again? Yeah? Okay, now my intention is good, okay? And I'm not hitting that hard. Something happened? Yeah? It's the vibrational frequency transfer from here into the speakers. It's covered the whole room and you start having something was happening to your eardrums. It was affecting your mind and something was happening in your blood. And you were saying in your mind, stop it. So now, that's why we're talking about you, right? When you listen to music, you think that there is no harm. You're now vibrating at a frequency which is, does anyone know what is the vibration? Nobody's going to know this, I know this. Does anyone know what is the vibration frequency of your lungs? And no one's going to know. The vibration frequency of your lungs is 220 hertz. Okay? You can trust me on that. The people who have done the research, I'm putting it on them. Your lungs vibrate at 220 hertz. If the vibration frequency of 220 hertz goes up and down, your lungs will get ill. If you introduce the 220 hertz, your lungs might come back to the healthy state. Haven't you seen people on YouTube who are Christian or who are Jews or who are atheists, when they listen to Quran, what happens to them? The vibrational frequency of the verses of the Holy Quran touches them in a way that sometimes they start crying. You know, when the Holy Prophet used to recite the Holy Quran, they used to call him a magician, a kahin. Why? Because these people who would listen to the Holy Quran, although understanding was not there, but the vibration frequency was such, they would get attracted towards it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that the meaning of it is that if you were to bring this Holy Quran on a mountain, the mountain would have, in fear, would have become dust. In the fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So now, trying to conclude it. Every time you read Surah Al-Hamd in your salah, also after you drink water, what are you supposed to say? After you've drank water, what are you supposed to say? There's a difference. What are you supposed to say? After you've had water, yes. Assalamu alaikum ya Allah. Yeah? We're supposed to say Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah. We're supposed to remember Imam Hussain alayhi salam. In the beginning, with our intention, we purified water by saying Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. And once it has gone inside of our body, we are still affecting this water by saying salam to the Imam Hussain alayhi salam. When you do wudu, you're taking regular water, and you know, you guys, when you grow up as scientists, you should do this research. Take wudu, regular water, and take the water from wudu. You'll see the chemical composition is not the same. You take water, your intention is for your face to become illuminated on that day when all of the faces are dark. Right? Or your hands, when you're doing the arms, there's intentions, dua and so forth. After you've done wudu, you feel different than you did before. Yes or no? You feel different than before. What was the main factor? You can do two wudus. Do one wudu without the intention of wudu, just throwing water. The same way you throw water on your face in wudu. You can do these experiments or no? Yes? So no intention of wudu, no qurbatan ilallah, nothing like that. Just regular wash your face, arms, like this. And then perform wudu with the intention of wudu, with the intentions of illuminating your face in left and right, and the same du'as. You'll find that you feel different. Okay? Now, there's a lot more than I can talk to you about, but I'm going to try to end it here, but I'll give you an opportunity for 15 minutes to ask me any questions that you want. Okay? Because I'm not going to see you after this, whenever next time inshallah I come. Okay? Just in conclusion, you are body, you are mind, you are emotions, you are spirit. And Islam is a religion that will keep your body healthy, it will keep your mind healthy, it will keep your emotions healthy, it will keep your spirit healthy. And if you do not follow the tenets of Islam, hell is just a projection of that harm. That's all it is. Hell is just a projection of that harm. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us the responsibility to become His representatives on this earth for the rest of His creations. So please, my brothers and sisters, take your religion and you know, even look at, do some research. Spend that time in front of the screen doing research. Do the research on water. There is a very good documentary I can tell you afterwards that you can watch about water. Okay? Do a bit of research, find out the benefits that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given to you in this religion. You know? That way you will choose your religion, you will see the benefit, you'll become better. Inshallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you all. I love you all. I'm very thankful to all of you. Although my talks are always up and down, but you always give me your full attention. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you, and that you become much, much better than you are today, and that may the Imam of the time look at you as hopes, and that his heart is at peace looking at your actions.